Okay, let's try to fix Phobolog. Now, in case you haven't watched my other videos in this series, playlist is up there. What I do in this series is I take a corporation that's either too weak, or maybe not fun enough, or maybe it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, and I try to fix it while sort of preserving what it's supposed to do, or what it's intended to play like. So I've done two before, like I said, check that playlist. But yeah, in the case of Phobolog, I think Phobolog is lots of fun. It's a very fun corporation to play with. It's just very weak. And so let's look at it. Phobolog is the first corporation to start with less than 30 cash. Starts with 23. And only until Terra Labs came along that happened. But Phobolog is the only corporation in the whole game, because of Fallout's ability, that cannot choose to keep all 10 cards. Now this is something you would rarely do, but it's pretty telling that they gave pretty much every other corporation at least 30 cash, so that it was a possibility, right? So I mean, it's clear that that's sort of the tricky part. But then, it starts with a huge cash pool of 10 titanium. Titanium pool. So if you have your space tax, it's supposed to be really good. And then not only that, but the titanium is worth one more. It's worth 4. So it seems like it should be the glass cannon of the base game, but really, it really is the glass BB gun. Why? Okay, so let's get into the problem. So aside from the weaknesses lie in obviously the starting cash. Not the most useful tag, but that's really fine. And then the fact that it actually doesn't have titanium production, so you have to find it. I'm fine with those things. That's what makes it weak, but that's supposed to be the weak part. That they thought of that. The thing is that what's supposed to be a strong part is that if you get a really good space tag, then you can play something really good and really expensive early. The problem with that is that space tags are not great early. The best economy builders are building tags and earth tags. Space tags usually have points and usually take a lot of generations to pay back. So you're kind of paying a premium for them early when you don't want to. So Phobolog really wants cards like Asteroid Mining, IO Mining Industries. Those two are really good, but they still take 6 generations to pay back. So if you get the cards that are the best for you, you still have to wait 6 generations. You can't keep a lot of cards. You can't play card draw, because card draw is very expensive early. And really your best path to victory, I think, is Jovian point strategy, and it's really hard to do without card draw. So it ends up not being the glass cannon, but if you get one of those cards, you might have a chance. Otherwise you don't even see it, and you still have a bad chance to win. So yeah, let's get into what I thought for fixing it. So I didn't want to change the starting cash, or the fact that it doesn't start with titanium, because I think this is sort of the essence of the corporation, right? So my first thought was sort of to do acquired space agency, because acquired space agency, what it does is it draws you to space tags, right? So I think this could really help Phobolog into getting not just one, but a couple of the good space economy builders, because you really need a few to get it to work. The thing is, getting too early, I don't think it's enough. Honestly, so my second fix was just to turn it into an every turn thing. So tap to draw a space tag every turn. So on the one side, I think that every turn might be a little too strong, but on the other side, I think that there are a lot of space tags in the base game, and a high number of them are asteroids, and I really can't stress this enough. Asteroids is not the way to play Phobolog. You will run out of gas very fast. If you play Giant Ice Asteroid, which costs 39, you'll spend nearly all your titanium. You'll spend 9 of the 10 titanium plus 3 of your cash to pay for it, and it gives you 4 income. 4 income would take 10 generations to pay back, which means basically it doesn't. Right? So you're paying 39, you get 4 every turn. By the 10th generation, you have it. So yeah, this is not like, never see asteroids as economy builders, and you're not terraforming, because if you do that, like now you have no heat prod, no plant prod, and no money. So like yeah, you terraform 4 times, that's it, you lost. Right? So yeah, I didn't think space tax was the way to go. So my third idea was, okay, not space tax, but how about cards that cost 30 or more? Now, in the base game, there are 10 cards that cost 30 or more. So there's 2 terraforming asteroids, Giant Ice Asteroid and Demos Down, which, although they're very good, and I would keep them with Phobolog, they are not what you want to spend your starting cash on, right? So, I mean, they're good cards, but they're like, I wouldn't keep Phobolog because of them. But they're nice to draw. Then there's Solera and Nitrogen Rich Asteroid, I think, are really bad for Phobolog. I mean, Nitrogen Rich Asteroid is obviously a great card. Solera, I think, is a very bad card. But they're just not good with Phobolog strategy, right? And then you have Beam from a Thorium Asteroid, which is actually quite similar to Solera. It's just a little better for points and Jovians, but not, again, not what you want to do with Phobolog. So that's 5 cards out of those 10 cards that cost 30 that are really not great. But the other 5, so Asteroid Mining, Ion Mining Industries, and Immigration Shuttles, those are great for some of the best cards you can play early with Phobolog's Titanium, because they give you lots of income. They still pay back in 6 generations, I think all of them. Immigration Shuttles, maybe one more actually, yeah. But yeah, 2 of them give you titanium, and the other one gives you lots of cash, which you need. You need to turn that titanium into cash income so you can diversify with Phobolog. But the other 2 give you titanium, give you Jovian, and because of Ion Mining, it gives you a Jovian multiplier. So really, probably the best card you can get with Phobolog. And even then, it's hard to play, right? And then the other 2 cards, Ganymede Colony, one of the best endgame cards. Sorry, Terraforming Ganymede, and Large Convoy, one of the best. So the two biggest point cards at the end of the game. So if you're tapping to draw every turn, you might get these cards and actually kind of turn Phobolog into the glass cannon that it's supposed to be, right? You're just more likely to draw these huge end of game point cards, more likely to have a decent game because of your income. But the thing I still didn't like about this strategy, well, there's 2 things. One, I don't think you should be able to draw one of these cards every turn. It's too strong. And 2, there's only 10 cards. So if you're actually guaranteeing that you're gonna see them all, unless someone sees another one, right? So you're kind of guaranteed to burn through the deck finding them, and I didn't like that, so I did 2 things. And so this is my final solution. I give you Final Phobolog. So you can add an asteroid or remove an asteroid to draw a card that costs 25 or more. So let's talk about the first part. By going from 30 to 25, you add 8 cards in the base game. Now a few of those are pretty useless. Capital really doesn't go with your strategy. Strip Mine goes a little more, but like Capital, it's nearly impossible for you to play because you can't pay with Titanium, and it requires 2 energy, which usually costs steel, so really not good for you, even though it's a good card. And then Airbreak Ammonia Asteroid is bad for everyone. Yeah, and Big Asteroid, it's a better asteroid for you, but still not the way I would play with Phobolog. It gives you Titanium, that's why it's a little better. And then Methane from Titan, even though it's Jovian and it gives you points, it's kind of not really aligned with what you do because it's still in plants. But the other 3 cards, again, a little better. So Space Elevator and Phobos both give you the titanium income you need. Now these take way more to pay. Space Elevator, it's much better if you can diversify into steel, but they give you lots of points, which is good. And then Water Import from Europa. Again, this is an end of game card, but it's the 3rd Jovian multiplier. So by doing this, you would have 3 of the 4 Jovian multipliers. in the game, like in your like draw pool, and it becomes to me even more glass cannony in this way, right? Because like the percentage of cards that are really good for you might have gone down, but the ones that give you titanium and the endgame points went up, right? So it's like an even riskier but with higher pay strategy. Now let's talk about the asteroids. The reason I went with asteroids was because I wanted to control sort of the being able to do it every other turn. And I could have used just a random new resource, but I thought, again, to make it more glass cannony, you know, these asteroid cards are really rare, but usually very good. And there are 3 of them that place asteroids somewhere else. Comet Aiming, Directed Impactors, and Asteroid Rights. And Asteroid Rights does it for 1 cash. So that means for 1, you get to draw 1 of these cards every turn. And so you get a much higher chance that with this card you get a lot of your good cards. And so to me, that really makes it sort of a glass cannon. You have these, you're trying to find these cards that like you need them for this corporation to pay off, but also there's this other group of cards that just makes those more likely, and they are really rare. And so I think in this way, Phobolog, I mean, it's obviously better because I'm just adding an ability, but I think it becomes better in a way that doesn't make it just generically better. It just makes the ceiling much better while keeping the floor really low. And yeah, that's it for my video. Let me know what you think. If you have any thoughts on how you would fix Phobolog, let me know. If you think this is too broken or maybe still too weak. I like it, but yeah. Let me know what you think, and see you next time.